Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We're very excited to have Harvey Hernandez here, President and CEO of New Guard Development, who is managing the construction and development of Natiivo, Miami. With us today is also Jesse Otley, President of Development Sales. And for those of you who have forgotten me in the days of reclusion or haven't met me at all, my name is Alicia Cervera, and I am the managing partner of Cervera Real Estate and have the tremendous privilege of being the broker for Natiivo. So welcome all, and with no further delay, I will pass it on to Mr. Hernandez. Harvey.
Great. Good morning. I hope everybody can hear me okay. We have been doing a tremendous amount of these type of webinars and Zoom meetings, given the current conditions and given the fact that social distancing is the way that we are operating today, and we think this is a great opportunity for us to give all our beloved brokers and all the people that we care about, including our Natiivo buyers. I understand that some of them might be on this call, which is great for us to see. An opportunity to provide an update as to how we are doing as a city, how we are doing, our project is doing, and so forth. First, I'd like to say that I hope that everybody's safe. I hope that everybody's healthy. I hope that everybody is trying to comply with this new way of living, which is basically with social distancing and making sure that all our people that we love and we care for are safe. So maybe we start by providing an update as to how our city is doing. We have been essentially in lockdown for I want to say 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, and what that means is businesses have been, as far as offices, have been working remotely, such as ours. And the majority of the offices in the city. Essential businesses have continued to operate, like, for example, banks and grocery stores and hospitals, of course, clinics, and so forth. Non-essential businesses like restaurants and bars and a few others have been shut down, as probably the case in many, the majority of the cities and the majority of countries out there, and now it's becoming a global norm. We have been blessed with having a great state government in place, that it has taken every single precaution and every single, if you will, precaution to make sure that we're safe. In addition to that, we are, our federal government have done an incredible job making sure that we get our state level, as well as a city level and a country level, all the help that we need, not only for people that have lost their income, but also for businesses alike. About 10 days ago, 12 days ago, there was a $2.2 trillion stimulus package approved by our federal government, and that is huge. It is something that it has never happened in this country. Not only the size of it, but how quick they got that done, and that shows you that that our federal government is committed to make sure that we as a country recover as fast as possible from the pandemic. In addition to that, I like to say that our development operation is basically operating full force, is operating basically at capacity. There are some, I'm actually sitting in our development office today, and here we have a couple of people in the office today. Normally, everybody is working remotely. We tend to get together a couple of times a week in person, at least twice, and but on the phone, all of us we get on a very early morning call, which is probably the case in many businesses. So our project, let's talk about Natiivo Miami. Our project is doing great. We continue, believe it or not, to get some traction and sales done, given the fact that the project is being seen as the best option out there for someone to invest in our city. So we continue to do some sales. We continue to process commissions. We continue to process and receive wire transfers and receive checks and receive contracts from our buyers. Our contract administration team is in place and operating normally. They're actually very busy with a lot of paperwork. So they have been working full time throughout this period. In addition to that, we had done something very interesting. We have done a number of webinars and a number of video presentations that we actually, they took place in our sales office, which is beautiful. I hope that all of you in this web call can see it. Showcasing what the project is, showcasing our finishes, showcasing our building and all the components of our building. And if none of you in this call has them, please let us know through Jesse or Alicia or whoever is your sales representative for the project, and we'll make sure that you get it, because it's really, those presentations are very informative and very useful for you to get to know what Natiivo is and what represents for the buyers out there. In addition to that, and by the way, let me go back a step. Those presentations are being done or have been done in English and Spanish. So, and we're working on some other languages as we speak. In addition to that, we released a virtual tour of our brand new sales office, which was basically opened about 2 months ago, and it's great, and it's a way that somebody that is located anywhere else in outside the US can get to know our sales office and kind of get familiarized with our finishes. In addition to that, we've been working really hard on something very special, which is the releases of our penthouse inventory. Be on the lookout for that. We should be releasing that inventory the next few weeks. We are fine-tuning the inventory, of fine-tuning the finishes, so be on the lookout for that. Let's talk a little bit about where we are in our timeline. Before we go to timeline, Natiivo Social. Natiivo Social is probably one of the most exciting components of our project in Natiivo Miami. Imagine this: imagine being able to buy an apartment, a residence, and be part of a social club and buy your way into a social club. That just doesn't exist today. That's what Natiivo Social is. 70,000 square feet, private club that includes fitness, health, food and beverage, so restaurants, bars, events, uh, um, work component, incredible pool, great service by the pool, great sunset bars and restaurants, and as well as incredible programming. So a number of events, a number of activities only catered for the whoever stays in Natiivo and whoever buys a Natiivo. So Natiivo Social is incredible. We will be releasing renderings for Natiivo Social in the next few weeks. Be on the lookout for that because it's just it's a product that doesn't exist today. In addition to that, I'd like to also talk a little bit about construction. So we have always said that we will plan to start construction this summer, and that is still the case. We would like to start breaking ground sometime within the next 3 to 5 months, something like that. In essence, the summer depends of what happens with the pandemic and depends what happens with the city and how nimble, how fast they can give us our permits. So we feel that if anything, our timeline have moved a few weeks, but we're doing everything possible to make sure that we continue we meet the goal of breaking ground this summer. In addition to that, I'd like to talk a little bit about our city and how resilient not only our country but our city is. So I'm looking at my window and our offices are located in downtown Miami, about 5 blocks away from the Natiivo Miami site, and what an incredible city, what an incredible place we have chosen for Natiivo. I guarantee you that in the next few months we can look back and say, wow, how incredible this country is, how incredible this city is, having gone through something that is so dramatic, and being able to be on the other side of that so fast, because that's what happens, right? We're incredibly resilient, and we have an incredible government, very, very powerful, making sure that that things like this are dealt with in the most efficient way. I know there were some questions from the participants of the call. Jesse, do you have any questions for me, perhaps?
No, so I just sent a text and everybody, you saw that text. If you have any questions, please text to us, and then myself or Lisa will ask Harvey those questions.
So Harvey, while we wait for questions from the panel, I have a few questions that have been posed to us, and they have to do mostly with the construction. So what's happening with the city? Because we know that a lot of the permitting and things like that have been closed. And I also know that there was work that was continuing on with the architects and engineers, et cetera. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about that process and how we're using this time to keep on track?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, construction is deemed in City of Miami as an essential business, right? So you see the construction continuing throughout the pandemic in the city of Miami. So that's all great news. So something that it has been actually a blessing for us is the fact that we continue to work with our architects and our engineers and our consultants, and they have done an incredible job, not only keeping up with the pace to get the project and the plans completed on time, but also they're actually being more efficient, because what's happening is at this time, less meetings and less distractions are providing more productive time for our consultants and architects to basically get the job done faster. So we don't see a problem with that. Now we're gonna go for permitting in the next few weeks in front of the city of Miami. We have been assured by the city that they will get us our permit as soon as possible. So we don't foresee any issues today.
Okay, perfect. So another question. Go ahead, Jess.
So we do have a question, but finish your section.
Well, another question that we've been getting is in some countries, as you know, the banks have been closed, and our buyers are concerned about getting their deposits to us. And I know that we've been entertaining one issue at a time, but why don't you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so we're conscious and we are well aware of what's happening in every country out there. So we have been getting questions and requests, and we're getting some requests for extensions for providing deposits, and we're looking at those requests on a one-by-one basis. So if anybody or any client of any broker out there has a situation like that, please let us know. Happy to work with your buyer in the best possible way.
Has there been any creative pricing that's come out as a result of this to help get business flowing and continue moving? Was that the question?
So listen, we thought that it was a good idea to provide some type of I don't want to call it discount, but incentives to our buyers, right? To incentivize them out there to be part of the Natiivo Miami family. So we released, I believe last week, a group of units that are very, very, very attractively priced, so that the broker communities have something that they can put in front of their buyers. So we believe that these units, the way we see it, are probably the best deals in the market. So if you guys have not received it, please contact Alicia, Jesse, or any of the sales representatives, and we'll make sure that you get it. And these units are going to go fast. I think it was a group of 5 units, and we believe 3 of them are already spoken for or so forth. So take a look at those units ASAP.
And then Harvey, we have a question from Carlos, and he's asking, can you explain how the whole situation with Airbnb has worked out? He said, I would like to hear from yourself and clients who bought 4 condos.
Yeah. So actually, that's a great question. The whole situation with Airbnb was a little bit of a blessing, and a blessing to us because we, in essence, identified very early on that our buyers and our users wanted to be in a more open platform and not be locked to one platform. And so we made the change very, very early on. I want to say October, November last year, where we decided to basically open up Natiivo, not only for Airbnb, but every single platform out there. And that's the case today. Natiivo Miami is the first ever purposely designed, built, and licensed building for short-term rentals, and the buyer, as well as our management in place, can use Airbnb as well as any other platform. In addition to that, everybody have heard that we had some business ventures with Airbnb and some disagreements that turn out to be a legal process that started basically earlier this year. I'm happy to report, which we reported a few weeks ago, but I'm happy to tell to everyone that those differences have been clear and those differences have been resolved. And as of, I want to say, 6 weeks ago or so. So it's business as usual for them, business as usual for us. We continue to work with them in some other properties that we have, as well as Natiivo, and we believe that we're very, very happy with the end result. In addition to that, I like to say that we are planning other Natiivos to be launched in the near future in other cities in the US. So be on the lookout for that.
Thank you, Harvey. We have another question from Alex, and I don't know if you guys can hear me. If we're having issues with this, Alicia can take over. Alex asks, Harvey, people in the news say the short-term rental industry is going to be impacted by this crisis. What do you think is going to happen with the industry after this crisis? Will buyers still be coming to buy the project? Do you think it's going to hurt sales on the project?
Yeah, so listen, I think every industry have been impacted by this crisis, right? Every single industry. So that's what we see. Now, I can tell you this, that the short-term industry, the short-term rental industry, if anything, will get out of this crisis faster than any other industry. Why? Because it's all about value. If you're coming and want to travel for an extended period of time to any city, but let's say a city like Miami, where do you find a better value when you're planning to stay with your family than a stay in a short-term rental product? It just doesn't exist. So it's a matter of economics, right? So if you want to come in to a city with your family and stay for, say, a week, there isn't a better product than a short-term rental product. Why? Because you can be with your family, you can be interacting with your family, you can be cooking, you can be socializing with your family or your friends, and at a fraction of what a hotel will cost you. So if anything, short-term rental market and industry will come out faster of this crisis than hospitality or any other industry. In addition to that, and talking more about Natiivo specifically, the fact that we have services in places, the fact that we are the only licensed product in the marketplace, the fact that we have duality of use, meaning not only you can monetize it, not only you can put it in a short-term rental pool and any other platform out there, but you also can use it as a user. That's huge, because, and with no restrictions, because that doesn't exist in the market today.
Okay. So Jesse was asking me to see if I asked some questions. So one of the questions we have is, have sales slowed down? And that's from Chuck Levine is asking that. Have you seen sales slow down?
Yeah. So the market is in standstill, right? So everybody is just paying attention to the pandemic and paying attention on what's happening, and that's not a secret. But surprisingly, we continue to sell, and we continue to have a tremendous amount of interest for the project. Locally, we are a little over 50% sold at this point. So that has been something that makes us very, very excited, because it allows us to continue with our goal, breaking ground this summer.
Okay. So then they're asking if we have any partnerships yet with preferred lenders for financing.
We don't yet. That typically gets done later in the development cycle, but it is in the works. It's something that we plan to bring to the table in a near future.
Okay, so this is a tricky one. I usually get asked it, and hands and feet tied and mouth gagged. So I'll let you take a stab. What type of return should investors expect an estimate average on their investment? And that comes from Ruben Sanchez.
Yeah, so we cannot talk about returns, right? You have to be licensed for that. We are not selling an investment here. We're selling a real estate product that is very, very flexible. And I think any buyer out there can easily get an idea of what type of, how much money they can make when they want to do short-term rentals using the product, using the residence. So hopefully that's that is a helpful answer.
Ruben Sanchez again, where can we obtain information on the short-term investment returns through Airbnb?
Yeah, so you can use a number of platforms out there. There's one that we always use very actively. It's called AirDNA. AirDNA is great because it provides you with data not only from Airbnb but other booking platforms. In addition to that, you can use Airbnb and a number of platforms available on the web. But airdna.com is a good one.
Say that again. Which one is it?
AirDNA.
AirDNA. Okay, airdna.com. Okay, there's a question from Maria Andreina Villamil. Maria Andreina Villamil is asking what is the name of the new developer of Natiivo?
Yeah, so the developer Natiivo is Sixth Street Miami Partners LLC. We, Newgard, continue to be the development partner in the project. As you know, the ownership of the project lays on the Galvin family office. They are a very prominent family office in South Florida. They have developed a tremendous amount of real estate, and we're very, very fortunate to have them as partners in the project. And we look forward to doing more Natiivos with them in the future.
From Blanket Domio Real Estate.
Yeah, that's a great question, Blanca. So like anything, we believe that every industry is going to get affected, and it's going to take some time for things to go back to normal. I can tell you this, it's all about product, and it's all about what product in the marketplace is going to go back to normal and be successful faster than others. We believe that the times of buying or selling real estate that you cannot monetize are over. So with that being said, I can tell you that products like Natiivo are the ones that are going to be more successful moving forward, given the fact that the buyers have complete flexibility. The fact that you can use your product, the fact that you can buy something that you can use whenever you want, monetize whenever you want, leave it 100% of the time, move to that city for a few months, and not having to deal with furniture, not having to deal with the fact that whether your residence is licensed to be monetized in the short-term rental market or not, or to be used 100% of the time or not, is huge. In addition to that, you bring Natiivo Social, you bring our location, you bring the fact that we have basically the best team in the industry involved in the creation of Natiivo Miami. And in addition to that, which is very, very important, technology. Natiivo and the technology that we have developed that will allow every single buyer to have real-time data as to what's happening in the residence, as to what's happening in their building, as to what's happening in the marketplace is huge, and nobody else has that. So when you look at real estate, I suggest and I advise everyone in this call to look at actual product, because if you're not special, you're not gonna do well, and that's why we feel so blessed and excited about Natiivo Miami, because we feel that this is not only the future, is the present.
So we have a question from Santiago Rivera. Have the prices of Natiivo gone up or down during the last 2 months?
So great question. So depending on the line, right, and depending of the product, in general, I can tell you that our prices have not gone up or gone down, except for some units that we have made available to buyers and brokers out there, so that they can provide an opportunity for someone to be part of the Natiivo family at a discount. We feel that our product is very well priced, given the value that we provide, given the fact that it's not only completely finished, but also completely furnished. So we believe that we continue to sell discount compared to the market.
And then as a follow-up, they're asking, Santiago was also asking, do you expect any changes in the following 2 months?
So as far as pricing, we expect that, as is normal, as depending on the lines of the building that sell the most, those lines will continue to increase in price. But I encourage anyone out there that if he has a buyer, or if he has somebody that wants to be part of the Natiivo family, to move as fast as possible to make sure that they get the best deal possible.
So love the developer answer, and it's a fair one. I think I would say our prices have gone up as they would have gone up without any of this extraordinary circumstances going on. However, I would also say, as I've said several times in different podcasts, that this is the time for buyers to make a move, because logic would dictate that sellers are going to be more flexible. So I encourage reasonable creativity and no fear in presenting offers, because I think that this is a time when people will take into consideration things that they may not take into consideration during the other times and during the due course of business. Doesn't mean that anyone can expect deep discounts or craziness, but anything that's reasonable and that makes sense given the circumstances, I think that Harvey will take a hard look at it, and it's certainly worth making the effort. So let's not get paralyzed by the situation.
Yeah.
Let's take advantage of it.
We're no different than any other business, right? So we know that now more than ever, you have to entice your buyers out there and make it easier for them to make a purchase or a decision like this. So we're happy to consider anything that we have to do to make that happen.
So Ruben is asking, Ruben Sanchez, what would you consider your differentiator between your previous projects of, say, Brickell House or Centro or the Gale and Natiivo, from aside from the rental expectations?
Sure. So that's a great question.
Rental exceptions, yes.
Yeah, that's a great question. So if we take aside the fact that Natiivo is 100% flexible and is licensed for short-term rental, then the other differentiators are the fact that we're delivering a product completely furnished. That has never done in the marketplace, okay? And that is a result of tremendous amount of research that we have done, and the fact that nowadays no one, including myself, wants to deal with furniture. But everyone wants a residence that is tastefully and very well designed and furnished. So what we decided to do was come in, use economies of scale, and hire very talented people to design our residences and buy it in bulk. And because we buy it in bulk, we're able to provide a tremendous value for our buyers. So that's a one huge differentiator. In addition to that, talk about Natiivo Social. First time ever that we combined residential hospitality living with social club. Doesn't exist, never done before, and we believe that is second to none in the marketplace. On top of that, every product that we do is substantially different, right? Not only from materials to design to theme, look and feel, but at the same time, not necessarily that we're not proud about all our projects in the past. It's just different. Something else that is great about Natiivo Miami is the fact that we have created, in essence, two projects within one. If you look at our base, and if you look at this beautiful base of the building, it looks like totally different than what our actual tower looks like. And that has been done on purpose. We wanted to celebrate the location where our Natiivo is, but also bring a very eclectic design for our tower and provide this eclecticness within our design. And that is actually something very, very special, and something that is very different from everything that we've done in the past. So I hope that answer is helpful to you.
I think so. I think it was pretty clear. And then I think Calixto Navarro is asking what I think is a good follow-up, which is uh, what about the standards and maintenance of the building to keep the quality product to our buyers, i.e. security and guidelines to prevent deterioration of quality?
Yeah, great question. So the way that we're dealing with that, because we feel that keeping high standards of quality in the building and high standards of control and high standards of maintenance are key. And for us, more than ever, are more important. Those things are more important because we'll be owning and operating the hotel in the base of the building. So we will be managing the building. We will make sure that all the, as well as Natiivo Social. So we'll make sure that all these standards of quality and maintenance are very, very high throughout, and for the benefit of the building, the owners, and our guests.
Okay, and then they're asking if we could expand a little bit more, and by they I mean Blanca Villarreal, on the social club concepts.
Yeah, so so the social club concept is called Natiivo Social. Natiivo Social is if anyone have, and I'm sure we have buyers and also brokers in this call from different countries in South America, and in South America as well as other countries, this social club concept is actually something that is quite popular. So Natiivo Social is that. It's an urban social club with different components. You have a health and fitness component, you have a co-working component, and then you have a social component with pools and restaurants and events and bars and speakeasy and so forth. This Natiivo Social is available to be used by Natiivo guests. So whoever stays in the building as a guest is also available to be used by our Natiivo owners. It's also available to be used by our Creative HQ owners, which is, for you guys that don't know what Creative HQ is Creative HQ is our creative office condo concept that we're selling in the base on the building. And also we plan on selling memberships for residents of the community and the surrounding areas of Natiivo. Why is that important? Because we believe that bringing the community inside our Natiivo Social is what is going to create the vibe, create the energy that is needed to make sure that that space is really, really special. So how many memberships we will sell, it remains to be seen. It's not going to be many because we don't want the spaces to be too crowded. We want it to be just perfect, and that will change every year. And but since we can own it and operate it, we will be monitoring that in a regular basis. So I hope that, and again, we're going to be providing renderings and more information about the operation of Natiivo Social in the next few weeks. So be on the lookout for that.
How are you updating buyers on the project status?
Yeah, so typically what we do is we update them in our website. Once we start construction, then there will be a construction section on the website that every month will be updated with the construction status. In addition to that, we send email blast quite frequently, I want to say every few weeks, with different status, whether it's more renderings or sales status or a special event status like groundbreaking or the opening of the sales center or so forth. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. If you're not in our mailing list, go to natiivomiami.com and register.
Okay, so we've been on for, I guess, like over 45 minutes now. So I think we're gonna start wrapping it up with just a few more questions. Let's see, besides, Carlos Uribe is asking, besides furniture, are you also providing linen, plates, glasses, and so on?
Yeah, so we're not only providing furniture, but we're providing a total set of equipment, right? From what we call OS&E, which is from plates and silverware and glassware and accessories, art, and so forth.
Okay, so the approximately, let's see, Blanca Villarreal is asking approximately how much will the homeowner's fees be?
Good question. I believe that our budget today is anywhere around 80 something to 92 cents. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but that's a range. And that's per foot. So if you bought, say, a 500 square feet unit, then you'll be paying somewhere around $400, $450 a month.
Okay, and then I think maybe as a final question, and then we can let Harvey give some of his final thoughts. This is from David Dici, and he says, hi, hello from Mexico. I understand that we also have working spaces for sale, so our clients can combine their investment between an apartment and office space. Can you extend in that area? Can you expand on that area? The office owners will enjoy, will the office owners enjoy also the Natiivo social?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So in the base of the building, we have designed 130,000 square feet of a product that we call Creative HQ. Creative HQ is actually very, very special because it's the first time that a creative office space is being made available for a creative minded type of owner or tenant to buy it. Number one. Number two, that space comes 100% finished and tenant or user ready. What does that mean? From lighting to air conditioning to flooring, everything is delivered at the time of purchase. So if you're a user and want to have a great creative space in a building like Natiivo Miami, Creative HQ is a product to buy. If you want more information, go to creativehqmiami.com. Let's talk about how Creative HQ will use Natiivo Social. So Creative HQ owners and tenants have the right and the privilege to use Natiivo Miami Social. Why? Because creates energy, creates the more we bring people to use Natiivo Social and all the amenities, the better those amenities will perform. Will perform for the building, for the restaurants, and everything else. So for more information about it, please go to creativehqmiami.com and you'll find a way to register there and get a full package.
Also, I know that we have some questions that are still pending. and some specific questions about units. So Harvey is going to make himself available today. Harvey, did you say today or tomorrow?
Actually, tomorrow afternoon is a good time for me, and any specific questions related to specific questions about a buyer or a unit or a specific opportunity that they want to run by me. So Jesse and you, let me know, and I'll make myself available.
So send us an
Absolutely.
email with a request for those calls, and we'll set up a little schedule tomorrow afternoon between 1 and 4, more or less, so you can have a private conversation with Harvey Hernandez. Harvey, thank you so much for all the information you've provided, from giving us your time. And we understand that we've had over 90 guests today. So I want to thank all of our brokers and our buyers and our future buyers for coming on board to the call, for your interest and your collaboration, and wish you to stay safe in these times of social distancing, and tell you we're looking very forward to having you all back in our arms at our sales gallery, toasting, and have a lot of social proximity soon. Harvey, last words?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone that joined. This is very, very important to us, and we are looking forward to seeing everyone looking at our sales center, being part of our groundbreaking, being part of our building once it opens, and being part of anything else that we do in the future. But please be safe. Enjoy this time to be with your family. Enjoy this time to think about the future and try to be productive. And thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon.